Hearing, I ask from all the tribes, greater and lesser, the offspring of Heimdall, father of the slain, you wished me well to declare living beings' ancient stories, those I remember from furthest back. I remember giants born early in time, those nurtured me long ago. I remember 9 worlds, I remember 9 giant women, the mighty measuring tree below. Early in time Ymir made his settlement. There was no sand, nor sea, nor cool waves. Earth was nowhere, nor the sky above. A void of yawning chaos, grass was there nowhere. Before the sons of Bur brought up the land's surface, those who shaped glorious Midgard, the sun shone from the south of the stone hall. Then the ground was grown over with the green leek. From the south, sun, companion of the moon, threw her right hand round the sky's edge. Sun did not know where she had her hall. The stars did not know where they had their stations. The moon did not know what might he had. Then all the powers went to the thrones of fate, the sacrosanct gods, and considered this. To night and her children they gave names. Morning they named, and midday, afternoon and evening, to reckon up in years. The Aesir met on Idaval plain. High they built their altars and temples. They set up their forges, smithed precious things, shaped tongues and made tools. They played checkers in the meadow. They were merry. They did not lack for gold at all, until 3 ogre girls came, all powerful women, out of giant land. Then all the powers went to the thrones of fate, the sacrosanct gods, and considered this. Who should create the lord of the dwarfs out of Brimir's blood and from Blaine's limbs? There Motsognir became the most famous of all dwarfs, and Durin next. Many manlike figures the dwarfs made out of the earth, as Durin recounted. New moon and dark of moon, north and south, east and west, master thief, Dvalin, Beevor, Bavor, Bombor and Nori, An and Anar, great-grandfather and Meadwolf. Licker and Staff Elf, Wind Elf and Freyne, known and foreign, Frore, colour and wise, corpse and new advice, now I have rightly, reign and counsel clever, reckoned up the dwarfs. Filly and Killy, Foundling and Nally, Haft and Villy, Heinar and Savure, Fra and Hornboer, Freg and Seapool, Lonefield, Yari, Oakenshield. Time it is to tally up the dwarfs and Dvalin's troop, for the children of men to trace them back to Lothar, those who sought out Fra's Hall Stone, the dwelling of Lonefield on Orvelia. There was Draupnir and Dog Frasier, Greyhair, Mound River, Lee Plain, Glow, Skivir, Vivir, Scafid, and Great-Grandfather. Elf and Ingvi, Oakenshield, Fiala and Frosty, Finn and Ganar, they'll be remembered whilst the world endures, the long list of ancestors going back to Lothar. Until 3 gods, strong and loving, came from out of that company, they found on land capable of little, Ash and Embla lacking in fate. Breath they had not, spirit they had not, blood nor bearing nor fresh complexions. Breath gave Odin, spirit gave Honir, blood gave Lodur, and fresh complexions. An ash I know that stands, Yggdrasil it's called, a tall tree drenched with shining loam. From there comes the dews which fall in the valley, Green it stands always over Erd's well. From there come girls, knowing a great deal, free from the lake, standing under the tree. Erd one is called, Verdandi another, they carved on a wooden slip. Skuld the third. They laid down laws, they chose lives for the sons of men, the fates of men. She remembers the first war in the world, when they struck Gulvega with spears, and in the High One's hall they burned her. 3 times they burned her, 3 times she was reborn, over and over, yet she lives still. Bright One they called her. Wherever she came to houses, the seer with pleasing prophecies, she practised spirit magic, she knew Sade. Sade she performed as she liked. She was always a wicked woman's favourite. Then all the powers went to the thrones of fate, the sacrosanct gods, and considered this, whether the Aesir should yield the tribute, or whether all the gods should share the sacrificial feasts. Odin hurled a spear, sped it into the host. That was war still, the first in the world. The Rudden rampart of the Aesir's stronghold was wrecked. The Vanir with a war spell kept on trampling the plain. Then all the powers went to the thrones of fate, the sacrosanct gods, and considered this. Which people had troubled the air with treachery, or given Od's girl to the giant race? Thor alone struck a blow there, swollen with rage. He seldom sits still when he hears such a thing. The oaths broke apart, words and promises, all the solemn pledges which had passed between them. She knows that Heimdall's hearing is hidden under the bright grown sacred tree. She sees, flowing down the loam-filled flood, from the father of the slain's pledge. Do you want to know more, and what? Alone she sat outside when the old man came, the terrible one of the Aesir, and he looked in her eyes. Why do you question me? Why do you test me? I know all about it, Odin, where you hid your eye in Mimir's famous well. Mimir drinks mead every morning from the father of the slain's pledge. Do you want to know more? And what? Father of hosts chose for her rings and necklaces, treasure, wise speech, and spirits of divination. She saw widely about every world. She saw Valkyries coming from far and wide, ready to ride to the gods' realm. Skuld shouldered one's shield. Skolgul was another. Gun, Hild, Gondel, and Geir Skogul. Now the general's ladies are counted up, Valkyries ready to ride over the earth. I saw for Baldur, for the bloody god, Odin's child, his fate in store. There stood grown higher than the plain, slender and very fair, the mistletoe. From that stem which seemed so slender, there came a dangerous grief dart. Hod started to shoot. Baldur's brother was born quickly. Odin's son started killing at 1 night old. He never washed his hands nor combed his hair until he brought Baldur's adversary to the funeral pyre. And in Fenhal's Frigg wept for Valhal's woe. Do you want to know more? And what? A captive she saw lying under Cauldron Grove, an evil-loving figure, unmistakable as Loki. There sits Sigyn, getting very little joy from her husband. Do you want to know more? And what? From the east there flows, through poison valleys, a river with knives and swords. Fearful it is called. To the north there stood, on dark of moon plains, a hall of gold, of Sindrid's lineage, and another stood on Never Cold, the beer hall of a giant called Brimir. A hall she saw standing far from the sun, on Corpse Strand. Its doors look north, poison drops fall in through the roof vents. The hall is woven of serpent spines. There she saw, wading in turbid streams, false oath-swearers and murderers, and the seducer of another man's close confidant. There Nidhogg sucks the corpses of the dead. A wolf tears at men. Do you want to know more? And what? In the east sat the old woman in iron wood, and gave birth there to Fenrir's offspring. One of them, in trollish shape, shall be the snatcher of the moon. It gluts itself on doomed men's lives, reddens the gods' dwellings with crimson blood. Sunshine becomes black at all the next summers, weather all vicious. Do you want to know more? And what? He sat on the mound and struck his harp, the giantess's herdsman, cheerful Egfer. Near him crowed in gallows wood that bright red rooster who's called Fiala. Golden Comb crowed near the Aesir. He wakens the warriors at Father of Hosts Hall, and another crows below the earth, a sooty red cock in the halls of hell. Garm bays loudly before Gnipper cave. The fetter will break and the ravener run free. Much wisdom she knows, I see further ahead, to the mighty doom of the gods, of the victory god. Brother will fight brother and be his slayer. Sister sons will violate the kinship bond. Hard it is in the world, whoredom abounds. Axe age, sword age, shields are cleft asunder. Wind age, wolf age, before the world plunges headlong, no man will spare another. The sons of Mim are at play, and the measuring tree is kindled. At the resounding Jarla horn, Heimdall blows loudly, his horn is in the air. Odin speaks with Mim's head. The ancient tree groans and the giant get loose. Yggdrasil shudders, the tree standing upright. Now Garm bays loudly before Gnipper cave. The fetter will break and the ravener run free. Much wisdom she knows, I see further ahead, to the mighty doom of the gods, of the victory gods. Harim drives from the east, heaves his shield before him. The great serpent writhes in giant rage. The serpent churns the waves. The eagle shrieks in anticipation. Pale beaked, he rips the course. Naglfar breaks free. A ship journeys from the east. Muspel's troops are coming over the ocean, and Loki steers. All the giant sons advance along with the Ravener. Bylist's brother goes in company with them. What disturbs the Aesir? What disturbs the elves? All giant land is roaring. The Aesir are in council. The dwarfs groan before their rocky doors, wise ones of the mountain wall. Do you want to know more? And what? Surt comes from the south with branches ruin. The slaughter god's son glances from his sword. Rocky cliffs clash together, and the troll women are abroad. Heroes tread the hell road, and sky splits apart. Then Frigg's second sorrow comes about, when Odin advances to fight against the wolf, and Beli's bright slayer against Surt. Then Frigg's dear beloved must fall. Then comes Victory Father's strong son, Vidar, to battle the beast of slaughter. With his hand he sends to Loki's son's heart his sword to stab then his father is avenged. Then comes Haldan's glorious boy. Odin's son advances to fight the serpent. He strikes in wrath, Midgard's protector. All men must abandon their homesteads. 9 steps Fjordjin's child takes, exhausted from the serpent which fears no shame. The sun turns black, land sinks into the sea, the bright stars vanish from the sky, steam rises up in the conflagration, hot flame plays high against heaven itself. Now Garm bays loudly before Gnipper cave. The fetter will break and the ravener run free. Much wisdom she knows. I see further ahead to the mighty doom of the gods, of the victory gods. She sees, coming up a second time, earth from the ocean eternally green. The waterfalls plunge and the eagle soars above them, over the mountain, hunting fish. The Aesir find one another on Idurvel, and they converse about the mighty earth girdler and Fimbultier's ancient runes. There will be found again in the grass the wonderful golden checkers, those which they possessed in the bygone days. Without sowing, the fields will grow. All evil will be healed. Baldur will come. Hod and Baldur will settle in Rop's victory homesteads. The slaughter gods are well. Do you want to know more? And what? Then Honir will choose a wooden slip for prophecy, and 2 brothers' sons build a settlement in the wide wind realm. Do you want to know more? And what? A hall she sees standing, fairer than the sun, thatched with gold at Gimle. There the noble fighting bands will dwell, and enjoy the days of their lives in pleasure. There comes the shadow dark dragon flying, the gleaming serpent, up from the dark of moon hills. Nighog flies over the plain in his pinions. He carries corpses. Now she will sink down.